Good afternoon, Mind Healers. It's Sharon here from Mind Healing and Harmony, and welcome back. I've just finished doing some meditation out here in this beautiful sunshine, and wherever you are, I hope you are having a fantastic day and enjoying at least some outside doorsy weather as the weather's changing in our beautiful country. I just wanted to talk to you today about a few things that have been going on. We know that there's been a lot of isolation and a lot of these things that are happening in different states in our wonderful country of Australia. And there's unfortunately been a lot of people who have been leaving the planet because they are not coping with the situation, and God bless to them. I fully have compassion for all, and I really wanted to talk to you about 5 tips that can help you when you're in lockdown, and how you can stay sane, and maybe how you can benefit from being in lockdown if that's your case. And if not, these tips may help you anyway. So let's get started. So number 1, do you realize that energy is around us everywhere? And there's some simple things you can do to create energy. Because sometimes we as human beings, in order to protect ourselves, we lock off our hearts because it's easier that way. And when we're in that form, we're really not feeling. We're not feeling anything that's around us. We're not feeling the energy. We're not feeling emotion. We really are just going through the motions of life. We're not really embracing life. We're not really creating more energy with ourselves, and we're not really showing our love of the things that we do and who we really are spiritually, as well as who we are in this human form. So what you can do to change that sometimes, and all of us get into this situation, even in everyday life without what's going on in the world right now, is that we can bring energy into our life which makes us feel more alive and can create positive energy to start surrounding us. Now, one really simple way of actually achieving this is by taking your hands, and what I want you to do is take your hands and just briskly press them together. Okay? So we're rubbing them together, and now what I want you to do is to hold your hands apart, and I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to see if you can feel the energy that is transforming from one hand to the other. And you can literally feel it like a circle of, and it's like a big circle of ball of energy that you have created. Now you can do that at any time on any part of your body, and it will increase the energy and also circulation in your body. Now this helps us to know that we are here and we are alive and we are present, because the hardest thing to do in a hard situation is to be present. So it stops us from having that void feeling, the nil feeling, where you're walking, I call it the walking dead really. You're walking around and you're not feeling anything. And you see people, and it's just like watching a movie, and they're all going past as participants, and you're just a participant in your own movie, which has no reacting, has no energy and no emotion involved in it. So you may find that to wake yourself up when you're feeling a little bit like that and a little bit sad or a little bit nullified, get to and rub those hands together, rub parts of your body, and get moving and show yourself how much you're alive. Then we can go on to the other steps. So number 2 is to create something. When we're in a situation where we have to stay still, we can actually become more creative of ourselves. We can find parts of ourselves that maybe we haven't tapped into, or you've always been so busy you've never had the time to do so. So these type of things might be things like doing a craft project and making some presents for people that you'd usually buy. You might like to do some painting, write some poems, or you might like to think about a new business idea, or how to increase your business in a different way according to where the world is right now. Now, by doing this, As human beings, we need to feel that we have a sense of accomplishment, because when we have a sense of accomplishment, it gives us confidence and it allows us to be able to love ourselves, respect ourselves, because all that matters is what you think of you, not what other people think of you. And remember, I've done videos on this. All that matters is that everything comes from you, all your love, caring and support, because the first person you need to support is yourself. So, creating. If there's anything else, you might want to do some knitting. You might never have knitted a scarf. Now, guys, I know it's a little bit different for you, but you might like to build a model car, for instance, that you've never built before. Or you might like to do a project of carpentry. There are so many things that we don't have time to do that you may be able to do in the present time. But we're hoping that that's not going to be for much longer. Nevertheless, in everyday life, we can also add this in. We need to make time for ourselves to be creative, because that really is who we are. We love creating things, have a sense of accomplishment, and so that we can work together and share our ideas together and create a better world. So tip number 3, work out why being exposed to this situation has affected you the way it has. And what have you learnt from this experience? Now, my suggestion would be to make a list, get a sheet of paper, an A4 sheet of paper, and on one side put a plus and one side put a negative. So just to help you along here, if you were looking at positives, you could say that it has made you stop and be still and to actually think about your life, where you are, what you're doing, and where you want to be. Because sometimes we're so caught up in the fast pace of life, we miss that and we don't realise even that we may not be happy. The second thing is you could become a better cook. So maybe, just maybe, you've been buying food from outside, but now you can order food online, have it brought in, and make your own beautiful food creations. There's never anything wrong with being able to upskill anything that you do in life, because there's always a better way of doing something. So that's something that you may find a positive. The other thing is that you've been able to sit down and work out better ways to be more efficient in your life, to use your time better, to be able to organise things better, and found that some of the things you were doing maybe weren't a very good way of going about it. So now you could have become more efficient. The other thing is to exercise on YouTube that you never used to do, because it allows you to get outside. It allows you to be able to still be sort of interconnected with somebody else, because you can find exercise routines on YouTube where you're actually in a room with other people, even though they're actually on our screen. This is another way that you can feel connected, but you're also getting exercise, and maybe you've been trying some things that you haven't ever tried before, like yoga or body balance or Tai Chi, something like that, which are really good for the mind and body. The other thing is that you found out that you actually don't like your job after all, because you've just been going and doing it as a process of life. The other thing is that you could ring people, contact people you haven't spoke to for ages because you didn't have the time to do it. That's the positive thing, and that you can build on that relationship and find out what those people have been up to. You just never know what opportunities are around the corner. And finally, on the positive side, is that you realised you need a new career, that you'd sort of been stuck. So now you've decided. Now you can do some research online to find out what you think will fit in with who you want to be going from now and into the future. So that's a really good positive. The negative things are that you found that you had a lack of community in your area, that you don't even know your neighbours. So if you were in trouble or had an incident, you don't have anybody to fall back on. The other is that you found that you don't have much support really from family and friends. So maybe that means you need to nurture those relationships, put more love and care into the people that you are surrounded by. Are you giving or are you taking? The other negative is your communication skills. Are you communicating with people constantly? Are you thinking about how they are? Or are you just thinking about how you are and coming to some sort of realization about that? You found out that your job is not really a great situation if you're in the present situation in the world. That if you're in this lockdown type scenario, your job's no good. You have to use all your holidays or your sick pay. Or is your job something that you can go to work and also work at home? They're good things to know and good things moving forward to tell you, do I want to be in this situation again or do I not? So a negative. And do you need a change? Are you stuck in a rut? Now that's a good one, because I know I've been stuck in a rut in the past many, many times, and that's when it's time to move on. It means that process of your life is over and you need to move on to the next stage to evolve more into the person that you'll be moving to in the future. So give that a bit of a thought. Tip number 4, self-realization. Now this is a classic. Self-realization really refers to yourself. Have you sat there and looked at your life and said, well, this was not how I thought it was going to be. At this age, this was not where I thought I'd be, what I'd be doing, what I'd be fighting for, and why is that? So this also has to do with your self-reflection and being able to just sit back and let the world go around you, which when you're in this situation you can, and just be honest with yourself about your life, your career, and your relationship, and whether there's anything you can do to improve those things. And if there is, then it's a good time for you to be able to grow those sort of things. So have a think about that with your friends, your family, your community, and whether your position is also everything. Are you truly happy in your heart? Are you truly doing what you love? Or are you sacrificing? My 5th tip, and this is one that we hear about a lot, being grateful. Are you being grateful for everything you have, or did you take it all for granted before now, 18 months ago? Did you take the freedom to see family, friends, the people that you loved and cared for? Did you take it for granted that they were in your life? Were you truly, truly making an effort to be the best that you can be with all your family, friends and support? Were you truly grateful for the community that you have, the parks that you have, the house that you have, everything that's in your life? Do you think it was just a little bit taken for granted rather than being grateful? So this again is something where we can look into ourselves and think, well, this is something else that I've learnt from this situation. And the hardest thing about all this is to never forget that, and never to forget how important being grateful for everything we have is. So it's very, very important for us to think about these things. So they're my 5 tips. Please do go through, please do make comments if you'd like to. I love listening to people's comments and reading them. Feel free to say anything that you would in a positive or negative way, nicely of course. And please do click the like button if you would really like to join my channel. I'd love to have you, and I'd love you to subscribe. And if you've watched this to the end of the video, that's really fabulous. But truly, truly from my heart, I really hope this helps you get through life, not only now and about what's happening now, but moving into the future. As always, my beautiful mind healers, may the light in me shine in the light in you. Bless. and have a great day. Bye.